Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to Crown Business TV, the place where business owners and entrepreneurs receive valuable insight and takeaway information to improve their profitability and business growth. Strap yourself in for another amazing episode with your host, Harvey Lynch. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to Crown Business TV tonight. Another amazing week in business, and we've got a lot in store for you tonight, a couple of big segments. First of all, we're going to be chatting about video marketing this week with a special guest coming up, and also using data in your business. Data is so powerful these days. You can have too much data. We're going to be talking about the importance of using and collecting data in your business as well. For those of you joining us for the first time, my name is Harvey Lynch. Founder and owner of Crown Business Development. We're a consulting and coaching firm helping business owners improve their business growth through developing and helping them implement strategies in the areas of business planning, improving their profitability and business systems. Special guest on tonight is Ayrton Sudholz. He's the founder of the Video Marketing Coach. He helps brands stand out from the crowd and generate more leads using video. And I'm just going to bring Ayrton in now. How are you this evening, Ayrton? Thanks for joining us, mate. Thanks for having us, Harvey. I'm going well, thanks, mate. Great to have you here. Now, Ayrton, last week we spoke about the use of video, using video in developing and constructing newsletters and for repurposing, multi-purposing that same content online. And I wanted to move into this week the importance of video marketing nowadays in business, and what that can actually do for bringing in new inquiries, new leads, and more business for the business owner. Now, I understand that you'll have a lot of information around that, but some stats I came across today was that in 2017 there was 75% of online marketing was using video. Is that correct? That would be correct, and it's increasing every year, which is crazy. Yeah, and I think the same stats mentioned by 22, the same stats is looking to increase to 82% or something. So that's massive. So I think if you're thinking about using video, it's definitely a good thing. But what can you tell us though about, I guess, why business owners should be using video from your perspective, and what you see business owners having troubles with when trying to use video and that sort of thing in their marketing? Yep, it's a very good question. So for me, something I teach my clients is every connection you have online is a potential connection of obviously doing business, right? And there's a saying that you have to have 7 touch points for people to obviously want to do business with before you close a sale, and that's even increasing the stats out there. There's over 20 to 22 touch points before someone will do business with you. And me personally, I know that the fact that if you can have more touch points through video, you can build trust faster than any other form of content, like faster than blog posts, faster than photo posts, because people actually get to hear you. They get to see what your brand is about, get to hear your message. So a powerful thing this is like why I teach and why I always tell people to start off with videos, because if you don't have trust with someone online, especially, there's a lot of people out there's a lot of competition out there. People are buying into you. And there's a quote that I sort of build my business on is people aren't, they're not buying the product or service, they're buying from you, right? And it doesn't matter what business you run, they're buying from you. And the fastest way to build that trust is through this medium, through video. Like we're just having our first conversation last week to 2 weeks. And the reason we connect is obviously from video, right? And a lot of the time that I like when it comes to especially starting out in business and putting videos out there, people can be scared of doing it and they're frightened by being in front of camera. I was there when I first started out, but you've got to look at it long term. Is if you want to be known and get your brand message out there, you really need to be able to connect with people. And the fastest and most effective way is to do a video. And as those stats before, it's only ever increasing. You see platforms like TikTok is like taking off. Like, I don't know if you're on TikTok. I'm currently not on it. I had to delete the app because it's quite addictive. But platforms like that, like they're taking off. And as an advertiser and as a marketer myself, seeing those trends of the type of content people are consuming, that's what people are consuming. They're consuming video.
And the more videos someone will watch of your brand, the more they're going to get to know, like, and trust you, and the more chance they're going to do business with you. And I think that's a very important part for businesses to start using video if they're not using it already.
And I think it's really prevalent right now, people having to do business from home. They're not seeing enough people or many people at the moment. So using video as a medium for communication is very important. And I think it's something that people are beginning to grasp now. What can you tell us, Ayrton, about the difference between pre-recorded videos and as opposed to moving into live presentations like we're doing right now? I know from my experience, I've known that doing live videos generate much higher engagement and much further reach to new audiences, generating live feeds. So from Facebook's perspective and other channels, they seem to like and promote that live raw stuff a bit better.
Yeah, and it comes down to what the audience wants. And a lot of the time, when it comes to like pre-recorded and live videos, obviously pre-recorded, you can script it, you can sort of make it up, you can make it sort of like a movie, right? But when it comes to live videos, like this, we're live. There's no script. There's no any like struggle. Well, there's structure, but there's no like any word by word. I'm not watching a teleprompter or anything like that. So like the difference between, this is where it's powerful. And I promote both of them because we have a video company where we actually edit people's content and do it for them. And that content, like pre-recorded video, is great, and it's quality-wise can be perfect for branding and building that brand. But no other content like a live video is going to build that trust, right? And this is why I teach videos. Like, it always comes back to trust. And if you do a Facebook Live, you do an Instagram Live, you do something like this, people just they know it's not fake, right? And that's what the people are looking for online. They're always like, when the internet first sort of come down, like I remember when we first got a computer back in the 90s, we were always skeptical of like getting viruses and getting like hacked or getting scammers online. And that was like something that like sort of was built up through those early 2000s into like, you know, where we are now. And people still sort of have that in the back of the mind. They don't always talk about it, but like that's the same thing. It's like when they see something online, especially when it's pre-recorded, somewhat can think that, okay, nah, that person's they're talking bullshit or something like that. But when it's live, you got to know that content. Like you got to have that knowledge. So Facebook promotes it a lot more than your pre-recorded. Like for example, on your personal page, like I'm talking Facebook wise now, on your personal page, a live video is going to reach more than a pre-recorded. For example, I just uploaded a pre-recorded video myself just to my page just then. It's not going to get as much reach as a live video. And that's because Facebook is wanting more people to go live. And especially when the live feature first came to Facebook, it was like the hottest thing for marketers. Is you get popped to the top of the news feed. People get notifications when you go live. And because it's that real and people can interact, they can ask questions, they can have a Q&A with you. Like it was a lot more raw and real, and a lot more people were jumping on it. So like I promote both. Both of them work really well, but like there is a difference between both of them, and they do require, obviously, if you're going to go live, you need to have good content knowledge in what you teach. Like this, like if it's an interview, you need to have obviously the knowledge, and a lot of people do have that, and they can go live. And I think it is another like a little bit off topic with it as well. It is quite a scary thing going live. Like if you've never done it before, a lot of people are like, got to press that red button. As soon as you start seeing people come on, be quite scary. But like once you do it the first couple of times, those nerves sort of settle down and you start to get more comfortable with it. But both work really well for growing your business. I do more pre-recorded lives. I do more of my groups, but I recommend both.
And what about, you mentioned about the jitters of going live and getting in front of the camera. Clients that I say to about using video as part of their organic marketing, there's fears there, and it quite often pops up. And what would you say would be some of the methods or what people can go through as a routine or something, getting prepped to doing videos, how to take the mind from the fear factor to just doing it? I guess the first thing that comes to mind for me is just consistency is one.
Yeah, so for me, I'll give you an example, a bit of a story. when I first started out in video, I wasn't confident. So if you've ever seen any of my videos, I think assuming you've seen a couple. If anyone's watching this, and you go watch some of my content, I look really comfortable and like really, authentic, natural, and just like, yeah, this guy's been, he's a pro, right? Not saying I'm the best, but like I work a lot on doing video. I do it every single day. When I first started out, I was so scared. Like I'm actually an introvert and I am not a public speaker. And the reason I actually started video and I got into the industry is because I wanted to overcome that fear. And the first thing that I started doing is I used to work at a service station. There's a camera just behind me that one of my first cameras I brought. I used to work at a service station as a store manager. I used to, every day driving to work, this is before I'd even started the business, I had this little camera I'd put in my phone holder and I'd record myself and practice on the way to work, on the way home. Every single day. So I work 7 days a week and I practice every single day. I've got all the footage on one of my hard drives. I watched back a couple of months ago. It's absolutely terrible. So one of the biggest tips is like, it is practice. Like it literally is that. Like before you even go live, before you even press it, like practice a couple of times. Because as soon as you hit that live button, like it's going to be scary. But like if you've done some practice before it and you've accepted that you're going to suck at the start as well. That's where a lot of people want to be perfect. Like you're gonna suck. Like it is scary. Like it is something you suck at the start. And like even I look back at some of my videos and I cringe. I'm like, oh, what the hell was I doing there? Like even just like a couple of years ago, I was like, wow, man, I've come so far. But it literally is like having like setting time aside to practice for it and making a commitment to do it. Like if you know your business goals and the vision of where you want to take things, like it's the future. It is what's happening now. Like you need to do it. And I always say to my clients is like, if you want to, first of all, you want to practice going live, create a Facebook group with just you in it, or like your mum or your sister, your brother, or your coach, or if you have anyone, and just have a group like of a couple of people in it and practice going live in there. That's what I do, especially if you're doing live streams like that. I always practice into a group. But it literally is just doing it. Like it's going to be scary. Like I every time my clients start doing it, they're always scared in the first couple. But once they do a few in a row, they set themselves a challenge, maybe like a 7-day challenge or something like that, and they go live for 7 days. Suddenly they just become natural and they actually enjoy the process. I've got a client right now. He just finished the 7-day challenge himself. And it's like at the end of the 7 days, just want to continue going because he's like, oh, I love this. All the audience is really engaged because they're live and he's just loving it. Anyway.
It's interesting because my mentor that first started teaching me about Facebook and Facebook Lives, when you mentioned about recording yourself in the car, I mean, I do the same thing, and it reminds me of a video he did, a live video whilst driving, and the camera, the phone holder actually was one of those suction cup onto the windscreen, and it fell off the windscreen. So I'm thinking, don't pick the phone up, just keep driving, otherwise you'll hit a tree or something. And but he pulled over, and next minute he's got the thing in his hand, and he continued delivering his message. But that's the thing with lives; it's not perfect, and but if you keep doing it, it gets better. And I find the same thing. Yeah, it's really good. So I think people can though procrastinate and use the idea of, I don't have the right equipment, or I need to get a better mic, or it's I've only got my phone and that sort of thing, and that can probably cause that procrastination to go live or to record that video. So what sort of gear do people really need to have to really get going with video, Ayrton?
Just your phone to start off with. It's the same question I get asked all the time is, okay, what microphone do I get? Well, like when people look at my set and they look at the gear that I have, like I've spent the last 4 years now, I run a video company. Like, of course I'm going to have this sort of gear. And it's hard to say like, oh, you just start off with the camera because they want to look like me. And this is one of the things I always share with people. It's like, don't compare yourself to other, like obviously if you're just starting out, you don't need any of this. Like if you want to generate leads and you want to grow your business, you can start with your phone. And the cool thing is that we talked about lives. That's what people want. That's what your audience want. They want you. They want to see you. They want to see you raw. They want to hear about your brand message, what you have to say, and what you actually do. They want to hear why you do it. That's what they want to. They want to connect with you. That's the whole reason they watch your video. They're not watching the video because you have fancy lights behind it. Like this is nice. This looks good. But like it doesn't really need to be like that. Obviously, I do this because that's my profession. But a starting point is have a phone. If you get a lapel mic or something simple that costs about $50, you can get from any camera shop or JB Hi-Fi or something like that, just for sound. And if you use natural lighting, if you shoot outside, like there's the three main things when it comes to video, having some good lighting. Obviously, the camera is going to be your phone and have some good sound. Like I'm using a light here now to light me. Those are the three main things. And you can do that naturally. If you have a window, like I have a window just on my left here, you can use that for shooting inside. If you can shoot outside, try and shoot in the shade. But all you need to start is your phone. And phone, like the camera on this is actually better than one of the cameras that I was using a lot of the time for client shoots. Like I've actually used my phone for client videos because the camera quality is actually pretty good.
Really good, aren't they? Yeah, and even the sound. But that's great. And so that limits the procrastination factor about getting started, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Ayrton, look, really appreciate you coming on tonight. Now, you mentioned before you had a program currently running, and if you would like to speak a bit about that now, I'm certainly interested in it as far as video marketing.
Yeah, for sure. So currently, we're going through a bit of a restructure of one of our programs. We're launching a new program called Video Ads at Sell. And I had an epiphany probably like just as coronavirus hit, of one of the common misconceptions I hear all the time in my industry. I don't know if anyone follows Gary Vee or if you've heard of Gary Vee. There's this thing that Gary Vee throws around. It's like creating more content. And during everything that hit coronavirus, and this is where I had this epiphany, was we need to generate leads. We need to make sales, right? As everyone right now needs to do, is they need to generate leads and make sales. And there's a common misconception is that we need to post more content, right? Content is key, but not more content. It comes down to the messaging. And then we realized what we did was we created, I threw all the funnels away. I threw all the complicated stuff. And I was like, all right, to my video guys, like, oh, we're going to make one video and we're going to run one Facebook ad to generate leads. And the reason where this is where the course comes about, we put this video together. It's very simple. Put it together, had a clear message, had a clear call to action. And we spent about $700 on Facebook ads and we generated $17K in front-end sales. On the back of that, we've done about $25K. But the front end, we did $17K in cash sales from this one ad we sent $700 on because of the video. That's where it leads to now. Like we've created a course on teaching people how to do that exact same thing because we've realized in the last couple of months, there's a lot of confusion around when, especially when it comes to video, is in we're going to create more, create more. Yes, in brand building phase, yes, that does help. But a lot of the time, people overcomplicate, and we've created a very simple system we call the Video Ads at Sell, which teaches people how to actually create the exact same video that we created, how to actually set up the Facebook ad so they can get leads today, not tomorrow, not in 6 months' time, sort of like in the next couple of weeks, generating leads from just simple videos that have a clear message. So yeah, that's what we have on offer at the moment.
Beautiful, mate. So if people wish to get in contact with you, mate, how would they best reach out and get in touch?
Best way is Facebook. So first and last name. If you type that in, I'm the only one in the world. Or Instagram. They're the two main platforms that I stick on. I don't delve on too many. I'm not even on YouTube. The reason why is because this is another reason I'll share with you just quickly. When it comes to especially video, is picking a platform where your audience is and choosing that platform and sticking to it. So I know I could talk all day about this. There's a video I've done recently where a lot of people want to be on all the platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat, all these other platforms. Like, be on them, be present, have your profile on there. This is from a branding sort of view, but choose one platform first that you're going to dominate for the next 90 days with video. And for me, that's why I'm sharing Facebook and Instagram, my main platforms. You ever check me on Facebook or Instagram? It's the same sort of vibe of content. And that's like energy-wise. If I focus on them, guess what grows? Guess what comes from it? What grows from that is obviously I generate leads, generate new clients.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, first name and last name, Ayrton Sudholz. That's where you can find me.
For sure, mate, and we'll get that info in the comments below as well. So thanks for your time once again, Ayrton. Much appreciated having you on, mate, and we'll speak very soon.
No worries. Thanks, Harvey.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back right after this. Hey there, meet Jim. Jim owns and runs a successful business. Jim and his team love what they do. They work hard and are proud of their achievements. But one day Jim's workflow had suddenly dried up due to a nasty virus that had shaken the economy to a standstill. And of course, Jim was getting rather concerned as to what this would mean for the future of his business. Would he have to lay off staff? And how would he maintain his valuable customers? Although, whilst not to be undone by this current crisis, Jim sought about ways in which to deal with his situation. He wanted to keep his business alive and keep his business thriving as well. After all, Jim had a loving family to look after. He went in search of information, to which he discovered a business expert who gave him a guide that helped him focus on his business in the right areas and outlined strategies to reboot his workflow and maintain his profitability. And after putting these tips to work, Jim now feels more confident than ever to handle times of uncertainty, to which he is now certain of a bigger and brighter future. So Jim recommends, don't get bitter during times of adversity, get better. Be like Jim. Download your free guide today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like a copy of that guide, there will be a link in the comments very soon where you can grab a guide and help step by step your business through this economic period we're experiencing at the moment. Now, things are getting slowly back to normal, aren't they? I noticed the Prime Minister this week has announced the new Job Maker initiative that they focus their efforts towards rather than more stimulus, which I think is a fantastic idea. Now, we're talking about the power of data, collection of data, and using that data to grow your business in this next segment. Now, the power of data is a business pretty much is either growing or it's dying, isn't it? And if you're not using data to help grow your business right now, then you're really missing out and leaving a lot of money on the table. Now, when I talk about data, I'd like to think back, for example, when we were all very young. You and I were young babies, and the way we grew up and become the people that we are today is through the collection of data, isn't it? Throughout the first 7 or 8 years of life is the data and information we collected, which developed and built our self-esteem. Now, that data is also used in other areas of life as well. For example, the collection of data that elite sports people get, or sporting teams, right? For them to be able to improve on their sport or improve on their craft, it's a matter of collecting data about their own performance, about their competitors' performance, and getting to know the sport really, really well, so that data that they collect, they can then improve on with different training methods or different tactics to use in their game, or different strategies on their game, is pretty well developed around the data and information received. So when it comes to our business now, and improving and growing our business, using and collecting data, or in the reverse, collecting and using that data to grow our business is so important. And if we can relate it to those other scenarios, like, professional athletes or teams improving their game, well, it's exactly the same with their business, just a different type of data. Now, what are some ways on how data improves our business? Well, firstly, data really amplifies the natural growth of our business, doesn't it? I mean, if you're collecting data, the first way really in which data can help grow our business, it actually lowers the acquisition cost of acquiring new customers. So, for example, in your lead gen campaigns, the costs of producing a lead, for example, in digital marketing, the costs from producing that lead through Facebook advertising, split testing your ads, and the data that you receive back through that digital campaign will give you a pretty good idea on where to focus or what things to adjust in your advertising to really lower down that cost of acquisition. And once you lower down that cost of acquisition, that money then basically goes straight back on your bottom line. Secondly, it provides, collection of and the use of our data provides a better use case and a better experience for our customers, particularly online. So, for example, when you look at your website, the data collected through your website using things like analytics software, you can really see where people's behaviours are whilst they are on your website. If you're tracking their movements on your website, what pages they're going to, where they're up, how long they're staying on the page for. There's software out there that it collects their behaviour on the page, where they're clicking on, and so on and so forth. And what that data provides us with, we can then improve our website so that it keeps people on our page for longer, on our website for a lot longer, and really improves the bounce rate, which is the time people stay on your page for and before they leave. And obviously, the longer they stay on your page, the more information they will consume, and therefore build on their decision-making process, whether to make a purchase from you or not. Collection of data and the use of that data eliminates wasted marketing budget. So, as mentioned before about advertising, and our website data allows us to stop spending money on things that simply don't work, right? For example, in our ads, if you've got an ad out there that's got the copy's no good, or the image is no good, and you're not even split testing those ads, well, the information you receive back will then tell you, okay, that's not performing, that's got to go. So therefore that, otherwise, if you didn't have that information, you would be wasting a lot of dollars there. Also, data allows us to validate our business decisions, right? So when you've got cold, hard data sitting in front of you, it's nearly impossible to make potentially damaging decisions in your business. Rather than going out on a whim or a gut feel on how things, on decisions that you think should be made, the data really reinforces that feeling that you have. And if the data is there in front of you, you can then really and confidently make that decision without having a massive negative impact on your business. And not last but not least, of course, is the data helps identify your ideal customer and your ideal audience. So the data that through targeting and specific use. It helps you target a specific client or a specific group of people. Using that information and that data collected on behavioural patterns and things like that, you can really then zero in with your marketing on that specific group of people. Obviously, that way that group of people is going to be interested in what you have to offer, and therefore you won't be wasting extra marketing dollars on that as well. So, when it comes to your business, what type of data should you be collecting? Well, I want to round this off in three main points, really. So, first of all, the type of data that you should be collecting straight off the bat using your CRM software, your customer relationship management software with your business, is information, data collected about your customers. I've said time and time again that your clients are your number one asset for your business. Without those clients, you simply wouldn't have a business. So collecting data, getting to know your customers on a deeper level, getting to know their likes, their dislikes, their preferred behaviours, that sort of thing, and build on that relationship right down to a personal level with those clients. And that can be all done through data collected through times that they have transacted with you, or times that they have any touch point that you've had. We heard about Ayrton speak about 22 touch points leading up to a point of sale earlier on, right? Well, that's through a marketing process, right? And those touch points are all building and developing your relationship with that client or that prospect leading up to the sale. So to continue that relationship and using that data to really reinforce and help that relationship and nurture that relationship moving forward is such a big point. So getting to know your customers through data is very, very important. The second thing is data on your goods and services. So knowing what clients really, really want. If you've got a broad array of products and services that you can provide, well, some of those products or service might not be of any interest to your clients at all. So unless you are tracking data like, number of times this product is sold over a certain period of time, or tracking the costs involved in stocking those products without sales or exactly what is selling, you won't really know that unless you're tracking that through the use and collection of data as well. Now, and thirdly is the collection of your online data. So obviously spoke about before is your advertising through Facebook data, through Google data, those sorts of things. On your website, you must be running analytical software on your website to be able to track people's behavior when they visit your site. That is an absolute must, and that data will give you massive ROI. If you didn't have it, you'd just be doing what a lot of business owners do, and that is have a website without any information and probably saying to you, or I've heard on many occasions, that my website just doesn't perform. I might as well not have it. So the reason for that is that they don't have the data to tell them what's working and what's not with their website, and therefore it's not performing. Also, the data online helps you segment or give you market segmentation. So you are able to now work out through collection of data who's in the market to buy now, who's in the market to buy in the next 60 to 90 days, and who's in the market to nurture through to a buying purchase, next year or long term. That data is vital to be able to construct the right messages to go to those different market segments, right, with your advertising through for messaging for cold, warm, and hot leads that are coming through. It's not a one size fits all in marketing at all, folks. It's the matter of as Ayrton mentioned before as well about constructing the right message for that market segment is paramount, and you get that through the collection of data. Now, to give you an example, a clean example straight off the bat about using data in the present day, we've just had Prime Minister Scott Morrison announce the COVID app not long ago. Well, that app is a process of collecting data that the government can now use to track down where this virus may be spreading to, track down people's movements and that sort of thing. And that data can then be used for better decision making with the restrictions that are either put in place or lifted to give the government allow them their decision making process moving forward. So, very good example. So your data now, which you would collect through your CRM system, will give you all sorts of information like that, as we've spoken about. And I would highly advise you starting to collect data, particularly about your customers moving forward from here, because it will give you a huge ROI in the future, and you'll have a better understanding of where your business is going now, and through the collection and proper use of data. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. We've had a long discussion this evening, but I think very important ones. Video marketing. Get your phone out, shoot a video, put it out there into the ether, into the internet. Get your messaging right, but just make a start. Get consistent with those videos, as well as make sure that you're collecting that data, because it will tell you a whole lot about your business, whether it's growing, whether it's wasting money, whether it's profitable, and you can make better decisions moving forward. My name's Harvey Lynch. Thanks for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll speak to you next week. Bye for now.